I think working in the field that we're in, you have to be resilient, because the families that come in here, they need someone that's going to be optimistic, going to be hopeful to get them through what they need to get through. They do lose a family member. A lot of times it might be a father, a cousin, an uncle. They have a lot they have to deal with. Sometimes we win these cases, sometimes we don't. We try to make it the very best situation possible for the family. When we're talking about, like with us, dealing with it on a daily basis, yeah, it's hard to see a small child go through abuse, especially sexual abuse, and learn to deal with that and just to move on a daily basis. But that's what we're here for, and that's what we need to do for them, to make them strong and give them a better life.
Society still sees sex abuse as don't talk about it. If we don't talk about it, it doesn't happen. But over 20 years and with social media, I feel like now we're getting the word out about child sex abuse, victims, human trafficking, physical abuse, emotional abuse. We're able to get the word out.
My name is Stacy Anderkin. I'm a detective here at the London Police Department. I primarily investigate sexual assault offenses, both adults and children as well. My emphasis is on children. I'm not just confined to Laurel County. I will help with other agencies outside of Laurel County, whether it be Whitley or Knox or Clay or Jackson. If they need my advice, I'm more than happy to give it. If they need me to interview someone for them because maybe that individual is living here in the county, I'll do it. We work very closely together, all the agencies, and I'm talking about law enforcement, social services, victims advocates, the Children's Advocacy Center. We all work together because we all have one goal. I love London. I love Southeastern Kentucky. Sometimes I think we get a bad rap for being, lower economic level, maybe not as educated as Lexington or Louisville, but I have to say no, that's not right. There's a lot of good people here in this community. We have a good community.
My name is Angie Bowling, and I am with the Williamsburg Police Department. I have been in the community all my life. I started working as a victims advocate in 1999 for this department, and have been here ever since. The type of victims that I work with are domestic violence and sexual assault victims that move through the district court system and into the circuit court. I understand what it feels like to be alone and to be isolated or secluded, and I also know the opposite side of how to include people and how to empathize with people and relate to the pain that they're going through. Because I'm from this area, I have a huge amount of compassion for people that are going through struggles in this area. And because I'm a woman, because I was raised by strong women, I have a huge amount of compassion and affection for other women that are struggling. Single mothers who are trying to make it in this world, abused women that have been sexually assaulted and mistreated. So I have a vested interest in making sure that these women are taken care of. My husband always says that you can always tell the health of a community by the health of their women. And so if you have a lot of women that are going through traumatic incidences, who are in jail for drug-related offenses, and the children are not taken care of, it really impacts the rest of the community.
In the past, sexual abuse was not talked about. It was hidden in the closet. I myself was abused as a child. I never told anybody, not until I became an adult later. So I understand why these victims don't come forward when the incidents first happen. I understand why it might be a couple years before they disclose this information. And if we go to court with this, the victim's on the witness stand having to tell 12 people on a jury their most intimate sexual experience. How hard is that? It takes a lot of bravery. And these victims, they're strong, but they've got the backing of all of us in the community.
here in Southeastern Kentucky, we're a little bit different. Different is good sometimes. Different is we care about each other. We're just not another number.
Their trauma is just not that, you know, they burnt breakfast or that their kids have got the flu. It's devastating. It's life-changing.
Most of your survivors do not want a hand out, they want a hand up. They want people to help them get on their feet, and then they will continue on.
And I think that's what's so good about our community is we all work so well together. We know when one's facing a particular battle, and we empower and encourage each other. We know that we're just a phone call away to get the support that we need. And sometimes as professionals, we have hard cases and we've lost some tough cases, and I can reach out to another advocate and they've been through the same thing, and we just walk ourselves through it, pick ourselves up and move on.
You have to be optimistic in this business. You have to be hopeful, because we do change lives. And some we do fail, but we're there to help them with any resources they may need. That I always knew that I wanted to help people. I didn't know that I was going to be in this field of it. Went into social work. But I grew up in Bell County, Kentucky, back in we call them hollers, but our hollows. Yeah, we've had a lot of violence that I've had to deal with growing up. And it makes you want to, I've survived it. And it makes me want to help other people.
My vision for the center is to keep growing, to keep adding these services and helping Southeast Kentucky and our kids to shorten that cycle of abuse, to get out of that cycle, because being here 20 years, I've seen kids come through here, and now I'm seeing some of their kids come through here.
It is very difficult when you have these victims in these severe cases, and you know, you take that home with you. But we here in Southeastern Kentucky, especially in the Tri-County, we have a support group for each other. All the advocates work together. It is very special and nice to know that you have those friendships along as co-workers that understand what you're going through.
For the people that I serve, I always like to develop relationships and invest in victims so I can watch their transition into being a victim of a particular incident, a victim of a crime, into transitioning into being a survivor of an event. And that keeps me going as well, to know that we have empowered someone enough to be their own hero and to do their own work and their own good causes. I have many women that will come back and say, you know, I want to do just what you do. I want to help women just like me, and I want to be what you were to me. And they do that. They might not work at a police department, but they do that certainly in their own lives, whether it's at the factory connection or at the post office or at the doctor's office that they work. They're a light for other victims, and that's what you want to see. That's what you work for as an advocate.